Happy Monday, y'all. Woo! We are back with the POV. Yes, yes, we are kicking off the week with a brand new episode of Point of View. Dr. Willie Montague is back at the table for today's discussion. I had to take a long breath and exhale, honey. Welcome back. Coming up, if you've ever taken out student loans, listen up. Nearly 2 million borrowers could have their wages garnished for repayment this summer. And as you can imagine, folks are not happy about it. And later, we'll dive into Girlfriend's Guide, an unpopular opinion. So, you don't want to miss it. So come on in, join the discussion, because you're watching POV. Nearly 2 million people could have their paychecks hit this summer. Not from taxes, not from bills, but from student loans. After years of pandemic relief, wage garnishments are back on the table, and the government is coming hard for their money. Some people could lose up to 15% of their paycheck, and they can also say goodbye to tax refunds. So here's the question. Is it fair to punish people financially just for trying to get an education, especially in this economy?
I just want to say, Lord, come back and take us now.
No, Lord, please don't take us.
I ain't ready
yet.
But this is just ridiculous. Over the weekend, maybe a little bit off topic, but it wasn't. Over the weekend, I watched Dead Presidents again. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's just so sad to see, like, the economic times that people are, continuously living and suffering and attempting to thrive through. And right now, with, living expenses being so high,
yes,
where is this 15% going to come from when we're not getting a pay increase?
Right.
Tell us about your good president.
I just wanted to say
this. I'm sure he is.
I just want to say this, and I get where everybody's coming from, and I too have student loans. But I want us to remember that no one forces us to go to school. That's the first thing. The second thing with that being said is...
Yes, they do.
We was forced to go to school back in the day. Kids now.
Really,
they got TikTok, and maybe parents aren't encouraging them as much, and I know you're going to reclaim your time. So please forgive me. But, yes, we were pressured to go to school.
We were.
Well, I think if you can Google it, I'm sure from your party, that it was said that if you can't afford to go to school, then you shouldn't go. And I do believe that was from your party that said that you can.
But that's after you got your.
Just make sure that I'm right.
I do agree with that, because we know that overall that college and universities can be very scammy, because they make a lot of money where there's a lot of trade schools that you could benefit from over going to 4 years, because some of those classes you would never use. The point I'm trying to make is that we are in $1 trillion of debt. We have hit the debt ceiling. And somehow our United States need to regain those funds so that we can have funds across the board to fund and have allocated to other parts of it.
But how much is your president, how much are we paying for him to play golf every week? It's quite expensive.
I don't know if you know this or not, but President Trump actually does not take the salary that is given to the president.
Okay, so what? That's $200,000.
He don't have
so he doesn't take it, but he can spend billions of dollars.
And he got money if he's able to start a whole new cell phone company out the blue. On top of everything.
And the $5 million Trump card. If you're a foreigner and you're a high wage foreigner, then you don't have to go through the channels. You can pay $5 million.
The little death camp they done set up in the middle of the night, 7 days over there with Ron DeSantis. They got the money.
Well, that has nothing to do with President Trump, first of all.
Money.
And what Ron DeSantis is doing is making it so that there is a place for those who are illegal can be until they able to be taken
We are
back
all
to their country.
illegal.
But I'm talking about people. Do you not have an ID,
Yes,
social security number, birth certificate that shows that you are United States citizens? These people have crossed over the border. We have a lot of cartel, drug cartels, rapists, and all those that come over this line. I have been down to the border. I've said this over and over again. I have been to the border myself.
But none of them are in leadership.
I have seen the wristbands myself at the border where the kids are used as commodity to cross over into this over to the.
But they're not used as commodities when they get here.
But,
I would just like to get back to the education.
I know.
I don't want to get back to the education yet. You know why? Because where I'm at with it is that, Willie, you're my good dear friend. And I would hope that our friendship is not coming to an end here. Because at the end of the day, it's like when you're talking about all of these illegal aliens, I have parents that are immigrants. Don't you consider yourself my friend, right?
Yes,
well, I'm from here.
But I'm not talking about your parents.
It would not, it's
I'm
not
not
my parents today. But it may be my parents tomorrow. Look at this. I just seen this new bill or something that they're, going after Haitians now.
Oh.
You look Haitian. Could you be gone?
Kisa. But I'll say
I'm walking around with my passport, and I am not an immigrant, and neither are my parents.
You got to remember this. We can't believe everything we first see. That's the thing we're saying because of the news. I'm simply stating that our country back, since you want to return back, we have our nation in debt. And somehow, some way, we need...
Is it because of us, though, when they literally pressure us to go to college so that we can get that little flimsy piece of paper
well, let me
actually
just say,
do something with our lives? Because that's what was required in those times.
No. They didn't require you to take the loans because they do offer federal Pell Grants, which
do everybody get the grants? Be so for real.
Not the little $2,000 they be.
It goes out
and that barely pays for books. Be so for real.
That's right. Well, nearly.
I cannot help it.
You better piss me off because you talk about these little petty Pell Grants.
Nearly
and these people be in $20,000, $50,000 debt.
$100,000. Nearly 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Now let me tell you about this,
and wages are not increasing.
Raquel, calm down. I'm going
really? You're not going to be disrespecting me up here.
You wasn't disrespecting.
You're not going to disrespect me, Willie.
I want to say this. You guys, if you follow actual biblical principles, it wouldn't matter if we were in a famine. You will be blessed. And so I'm sorry you live in paycheck to paycheck, but there's ways and formulas that are biblically sound that can allow for you to thrive in a place of economic distress. And I don't care what no one says.
Do you have resources to provide to our followers?
Bible. Read it.
Wow.
You know what? I hear what you're saying, Willie. And sometimes we talk after this show, and you say things, and they're a little bit different than what you say when you get on here. I'm not gonna say anything because that statement you just made.
You just put him on First Street, but I ain't gonna say nothing about it.
What you just said. Come on now. All right, let's just move on to the next topic because I don't want to say anything because I like to keep our conversations, private.
We're friends.
Right, we're friends. So this next clip had social media in a frenzy. A mom telling her son that he can't get a job because it might mess up her Section 8 and Link card. Now, this mom even claims that government assistance is the cheat code for Black people. Oh. Now, is this survival, manipulation, or just a mother doing what she feels she has to do to keep the lights on? Take a listen.
Getting no job. If you go get a job, they're going to take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're going to count your income against my Section 8 and my Link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that.
Ma, I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Ma. So you basically telling me I gotta be broke to be successful. I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8.
You gotta be broke so the government can help you.
So
this is sad.
That is something else. I'm not really even sure what to feel about that.
I hope she don't got more kids than that.
No, baby, I can't get a job. I'm sure she has more kids than that.
Oh my God.
Sorry to say. But at the end of the day, what it all boils down to is, from my little research that's been coming across my little iPhone 15 lately, 14 Pro, whichever one it is, Trump proposes to cut $26.7 billion next year in HUD funding, which will also affect Section 8. Sure. So at the end of the day, baby, you better let that baby
cut like it's gone.
It's out of there, baby.
Whoa. He wants to get a job.
He's trying to get these $1 trillion. Will he keep talking about that?
But yet he's spending billions each week.
In all respect,
for golfing?
So these people about to be
for golfing.
I love y'all. But you do know that some things need to be the state's responsibility and not the federal government. I think that if we go back to basic civics, there is 3 levels of government. And we often put all the responsibility on the federal level of government, which is why we're in debt. If we start putting responsibilities back on our state and our municipalities to do their job, then we would be able to see. There is HUD in every single state and municipality has their own HUD department. And so we need to ask the HUD departments in your particular municipality, what are they doing to make sure that those houses are kept? I know in a particular neighborhood in Florida that 60 people were evicted who were on these services in a black community, went to their black commissioner, went to Democrat black commissioner, go to these people, and they did not help these people. They filed claims, they got them evicted, all because they were in assistance and they wanted to shift that housing from being assisted housing to upbuilding it, which is gentrification. And so we got to look at what's really behind it. It's not always Trump and stuff. Sometimes our own people be trying to get an extra dollars on the side, and they move out the people who they figure, I don't want Section 8 people here because they're going to be loud, they're going to be rude, they're going to all this kind of stuff like that, and they'll want to turn into some nice condos because they think they're going to be able to
So
get
you
out.
say that the state should be responsible. Is it the state has been responsible and the government has been subsidizing, or has it been totally on the federal government?
Most of it is told the federal government, and
Most of it.
But if you look at the states, not blue states, most of the blue states don't want to take dollars from federal, but they also make it like it's only a certain group of people that can get those dollars. We got to be able to be fair across the board because Section 8 needs to be looked. I don't know if people realize we need to comb through Section 8. If you have not seen how the HUD and the money that actually has been lost and not accounted for, it's billions of dollars that people can't even find the money that's never used. So that's why we have Doge.
Yeah, and then we have so many people that are milking the system. But then when we talk about back to the state being able to, control their own municipalities, we see what they're doing with the money, and that's what DeSantis just did when he just built that immigration.
And then they say they can't afford it, so they have to do it federal
overnight,
government, and
7
that's
days, all
red
he needed.
states. And I know for a fact.
With the help of Trump.
We have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. Girlfriend's Guide is coming up right after this, so stay tuned. You're watching POV.
Hey y'all, thanks for hanging out with us during our quick commercial break. We have a question for you guys at home as well as one for us at the table. The question is, what is the hardest lesson that love has taught you?
That you have to use discernment.
Ooh.
Discern. However, it's also okay to love. Sometimes we get hurt and we feel like I'm not going to love anymore. I'm not going to share myself, my love with someone. And I don't think that's fair to the person, to you yourself. When you have love in you, it's okay to share that. People are going to do things, but it's okay to share it. But you have to use the discernment as well.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Well, thank y'all.
You know you done been in love. Come on.
I know.
That's how I'm
I haven't been in love in so long, so it's like what has love has taught me to the hardest lesson love has taught me to is to trust myself more. Like trust my own gut feeling, trust my own thoughts, like be my own person.
Yeah.
Because I haven't always been that in prior relationships. So trust yourself.
And is
You're
that
not wrong.
even love yourself?
Yeah.
Love yourself enough to trust.
To be vulnerable.
Oh, listen to you.
Oh, man.
Wow.
You think you're gonna do
What you trying to get a sound
Are
bite or
you
something?
doing it now?
How many seconds? There you go. Thank you.
Hello?
What?
Really? That was it? That's all you're going to give us? Be vulnerable?
Oh, yeah.
To be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable because this is my personality in real life. And so often I have to learn how to just be vulnerable and let people see the other side of me.
Damn.
We're going to
Cut
get
you
right
right
back to
off.
the show. Lord,
Thank you.
be with
Back to the show, y'all. Welcome back to the show. Now, we needed a little more time on that, right? Okay, so this is the part of the show where we dive into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. One of the UK's biggest selling female artists, Rita Ora, is finally sharing the story behind her proposal to husband. Oh man, I had it right too. And Taika Waititi. Did I say it right?
Okay, now.
Taika Waititi. Okay, and the plot twist. She was the one who got down on one knee. Take a look.
You proposed. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't know.
I asked him to marry me.
So how did you do it? Did you do it like a proposal? Or
Yeah.
Oh,
got the rings made.
I want to know everything.
Yeah, he walks into the room and he's like, what the hell is a Valentine's Day? I'm like, no! Anyway, get down on one knee.
You got down on one knee.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah, I think it's
this
cool.
is girl power.
That's what I mean.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm just taken aback because I see more and more and more that women are getting down on one knee, and I just want y'all to stand up.
Ooh.
God, please stand up. Y'all are weak in the knees and y'all getting down on one knee to ask a man to marry you. I think that is so mind-blowing because what day and age are we living in when men are no longer courting and women are getting down on one knee for proposals?
Yeah.
You asking a man to propose, you're asking a man to propose to you. I don't care who this man is. You're asking a man for his hand in marriage, and you thought that was okay. And then the lady, she's so hilarious. She is so hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is this girl power? No, it's not, girl. This
I just
is not
feel
girl
like
power.
I feel like a real man would have said no. Like I feel like he wouldn't go for that because he would feel like that's what I should
But
be
then
doing.
how would you say no to her when she's down there
Just
with
say
her
no.
ring in her hand, asking you to take her hand or to take your hand in marriage? How do you decline her without her taking offense to it?
He can quickly say no, and he does.
I want to do this the right way.
Do you,
I want to do
you
it.
think that, I'm asking the question here, do you think that this has become a part of this whole alpha female?
Okay, you're not asking the questions here.
I do. I want to know.
Next. No, go ahead. I'm just
Do
kidding.
you,
Just kidding.
do you think, because I feel like this is what it is, where it's
I
like
don't-
That alpha
women
thing.
having to take control.
No, I think that women are, I don't think it's more of an alpha woman thing. I think this is women trying to really secure their relationship.
Oh, wow.
And really hold on to
Because
whoever they
think,
got.
They don't. So do you not think that men are moving as fast as you want them to? And so now it's like, hey, because I remember reading it where it was like, this is what she wanted to be done for her. So
Right. I did say that.
instead of waiting for it, she just went ahead and did it. But I feel like the question last week was, do you want to be wanted or needed? And I feel like this is a thing where it's like you want the man to need you, that you're willing to get on your knees to make a proposal because you're. To me, it gets to desperation.
Blasphemy.
Lord.
She might as well she could have paid for it.
And I love, don't get me wrong, I love Rita Ora. Like, as a person, I love her accent. Like, I love her style. I love everything about Rita Ora. But honey, that wasn't it.
But do you think it's emasculating the man that when a woman proposes to him?
Yeah, I would walk out.
You would, but you wouldn't
Like,
say,
how do
I
men
want to
really
do
feel? Like, I would really like to know, like, what
To me, it
a
would be
man's thoughts
emasculating.
are in that moment where your girlfriend, whatever she is, like, is down on one knee in front of you, like, with a ring, like, will you marry me?
Yeah, I don't like dominant women like that because I've been around it a lot. Grew up around it.
Okay.
And so I find it to be where when you don't have, and I tell my mom and them this all the time because none of them got men and they never was married, that they live a life of just anger and bitterness and pitifulness. And I tell them that, but I tell them that when you don't,
Can't be sure he do love you.
when you don't, and happy birthday, when you don't have,
you know what?
when you do not have a man in your life, you take on, there's something you take on. And that's why it's like, oh, during Father's Day, we're saying happy Mother's Day and Father's Day to you. And that we have to restore the nuclear family. We have to restore the righteousness of just relationships. And we're not there in society right now.
But that's easier said, though, than done.
That's what I'm saying. We're not there.
How is that going to start? Like, how do we do that?
Go ahead. I would love to hear.
So my comment is not necessarily to that question, but it just makes me think about how we so commonly have seen like situations like Chrissy and Jim Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, and remember when she
Hot
got
ass
down
mess.
on, I think it was Love and Hip Hop years ago.
Yes.
She asked him to marry her.
Yes.
They had been together for so many years. I think he said no. And then
She started this stupid trend.
And then he ended up wearing the ring. Now it's been at least 15 years. They're still not married. Allegedly, they're still together.
What?
And recently we saw that Sierra on, it was maybe an award show or a podcast or something, that she had sat down with Jim Jones and a few other people, and she told him, she's like, hey, you know, like, you've been with her for so long. She's a beautiful woman. all these things, like go ahead and marry her. And so Sierra was also getting a lot of backlash from that. But I think that situations like this kind of create like, I don't know if it's like reluctancy, but there is a void, I feel like, with that man not taking that step. And then, you
Taking
know,
that initiative.
exactly.
Because if he wants to, listen, I always say this, a man that wants to will. They will. You know when a man, if a man wants to marry you and they actually see a real future with you, they will. They're gonna take that step. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. And I understand people have, you know, financial problems or whatever the case is, but a man will figure it out. So if he want to put a ring on it, he's gonna put a ring on it and give you, you know, what you want.
I think he's going to take the back seat and everything else too.
Because he's not showing himself as a leader.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because she had to take the step.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, maybe because she's worth $30 million. That's why she took the step. She's like, I got a handle on
Well,
this.
they married as for how long?
Well, he must have some money as well.
Wasn't there just a couple?
He better have
married for
something
15
with Rita
days?
Ora.
What's that? The actress and they was married. Oh, okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Willie. Because we tried to talk about this last week. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. Okay. So the next segment is unpopular opinion. I'm sorry.
In this last time.
Yeah. Okay, so we briefly touched on this story last week, but we're picking up where we left off, and it's coming from out of Arizona. 4 fifth grade girls, just 10 and 11 years old, allegedly plotted to kill a classmate over a breakup. Their plan was to lure him in the bathroom, stab him in the stomach, and then make it look like it was a suicide. One girl reportedly just said, "End him." All 4 were arrested and charged with misdemeanors. Now, here's the unpopular opinion. Even though they're kids, but was arresting them the right call? Oh, yeah, I think so.
Well, what I want to say is they were arrested. Some of them, I guess this happened back in October. Some of them were able to do like some type of, almost like a community service instead of going through like court litigation. So they really didn't have.
But shouldn't they be having like some mental, like some psychiatry?
Absolutely.
I don't think they should have been arrested.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I work a lot with kids, and I know that even though that this is something that it seems
it's premeditated.
Correct. But a lot of kids, you got to start going back to the family part of it. I do believe they should have been put in a rehabilitation program for at least 12 months to be able to work with their minds and find out where they were. And I get it, you know, the law is to detain them. Yeah. But I think that sometimes we think that that's the fear tactic to work. And I've had a lot of kids come to me that are arrested and that only escalated.
They just need help.
They need help, and they need to get, sometimes they really need to be away from their parents, because you'd be surprised that even though it's 4 or 5 of them, all their family could be dysfunctional.
Right, because I'm wondering, where did they get this from? Where, I mean, was this on television? Are they seeing this modeled in the home? Where did they get this from to think that this made sense? He cheated on me 10 and 11. He cheated. What kind of relationship?
Sorry, this sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Right, 10 or 11, and let's get him.
I know on The Breakfast Club, they have that segment, guess what race it is? I did a little bit of research.
It sounds just like that.
And the population in Surprise, Arizona, where this happened, surprise, is 77% white and about 4% black. So you guys do the math and tell me what race y'all think these 5 young girls were.
Drop it down in our comments.
Do you think we're criminalizing children before understanding them? That's what you were saying.
Yes, I do think we do that. I'm a big advocate for children. I do not believe that you should spank your children. I do not believe there should be.
The Bible says federal for the child.
We can go down that route. There's ways to discipline children without taking those type of actions. I believe in corrective action by taking things away, pulling them to a side, sometimes taking them out of their cover. Now, I
thought you believed the whole Bible.
I believe the whole Bible, but over my time of working with kids, and trust me, I've had to body slam children. And I legally, I had to do that because we can do that. Lord help me, Jesus.
Yes, please.
Fix that.
Legally, it's called CPI, so there's a way that you can body slam them.
Lord,
but I've had to do that. But it was only because they broke out the window, they threatened to kill another kid. Those are extreme cases. But I would have never told a parent, and I watch other parents discipline their children that way, and I think that we do a little too much with the kids today. They're very intelligent in today's world, and you got to learn how to be intellectual as they are to get them to change their mind. It's no longer, whooping is not going to work. Detaining
So
them
the rod
is
down
not going to work.
ourselves.
So the
to
rod is
understand why they wanted to
figurative.
kill him,
I'm sorry, go
this
ahead.
boy.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure we should dumb down our thoughts and our intellect to understand why they wanted to kill this boy over a breakup.
They almost were about to do it.
I get it, but these are 10 to 11 years old, and we
These are
want
preteens.
we want them to grow to be assets, not liabilities. So we have to find out what the problem is.
Well, one of them
And
already going to be a murderer.
Lock him up!
All
She was
right.
laughing the whole time. But
Well,
teach me
y'all-
some of the CPI one of these days.
No. Well, that is a wrap for today's show. But before we wrap, we would like to leave you with a quote. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle.
Hey.
Christian D. Larson. So thank you for hanging out with us. It was a good show. It was hot today, all right?
Yeah.
We'll catch you
Bring it
next
back.
time right here on Point of View, only on AFROTV.